Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Munmin Bhattacharya, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Two-day Ukraine peace summit concludes in Switzerland with a final communique. Kremlin says Putin is not ruling out talks with Ukraine, but wants guarantees to ensure their credibility. Israeli military begins a daily tactical pause of military activity along a road in southern Gaza to enable more humanitarian aid to enter. And India's Home Minister chairs high-level review meeting on the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir in New Delhi, days after a terror attack in Riyasi. On the last day of Ukraine peace summit, Western powers and other nations pushed for a consensus on how to end the war in Ukraine. More than 90 countries attended the two-day talks at a Swiss alpine resort at the behest of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, which ended on Sunday. The conference underscored both the broad support Ukraine enjoys from its allies, but also the challenges for any lasting ceasefire, with Ukrainian forces on the back foot after recent military reverses and delays to Western aid. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida called on international leaders to work together to achieve a lasting peace in Ukraine as international governments seek broader consensus for Kiev's peace proposals. The summit has been shunned by China and dismissed as a waste of time by Russia, which pushed its own rival ceasefire plans from afar. More than 90 countries took part in the summit, but China's absence in particular dimmed hopes it would show Russia as globally isolated, while recent military reverses have put Kiev on the back foot. Kishida also restated Japan's concern over the possibility that conflict in Europe could spill over into other regions, saying that Ukraine today could be East Asia tomorrow.
On the basis of the idea that the conflict in Ukraine today could be East Asia tomorrow, Japan has been implementing tough sanctions and providing strong support for Ukraine ever since Russia began its invasion more than 2 years ago. The achievement of a just and lasting peace in Ukraine is symbolically important in leading the international community in its entirety toward a world not of division and confrontation but of cooperation. May those of us gathered here seize the initiative and demonstrate our leadership.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome to Jaipur.
Welcome back. European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen was not in favor of accepting the status quo as it stands today.
Conflict today with foreign troops occupying Ukrainian land is not an answer. In fact, it is a recipe for future wars of aggression. Instead, we need to support a comprehensive, just, and sustainable peace for Ukraine.
Shifting focus now, the Israeli military said on Sunday that it would hold daily tactical pauses in military activity in parts of southern Gaza to allow more aid to flow into the enclave, where international aid organizations have warned of a growing humanitarian crisis. Military activity would be paused from 5 GMT to 1600 GMT daily until further notice along the road that leads from the Kerem Shalom crossing to the Salah al-Din road and then northwards. Hamas's leader Ismail Haniyeh stated that their response to the latest Gaza ceasefire proposal aligns with US President Joe Biden's plan. Speaking on the occasion of Eid al-Adha on Sunday, Haniyeh mentioned that Hamas and other Palestinian groups are prepared for a comprehensive deal involving a ceasefire, withdrawal, reconstruction, and a swap of Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners. This follows Biden's May 31 proposal for a phased ceasefire in exchanges with Egypt and Qatar, confirming on June 11 that they had received the Palestinian groups' response. And Sarah Coates is now joining us from Tel Aviv. Sarah, what are we hearing from the army about this decision after Netanyahu claimed he did not authorize it?
Hello there, Munmun. Well, the Israeli military is pushing back against these claims from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that he didn't actually authorize this tactical pause. It came out to say that the head of the military's southern command made this decision in line with what he was told by Benjamin Netanyahu, that more aid needs to go into the Gaza Strip. Now, we've also heard from the Prime Minister's office, which said that when Netanyahu heard, he told his secretary that this is unacceptable and that fighting will continue in Rafah as planned. Now, it's really seeing or unleashed a political firestorm here in Israel. The far right calling this completely unacceptable. The National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, he actually posted on X that the one who decided on a tactical truce, especially at a time when many of our soldiers are falling in battle, is evil and a fool and should not continue in his position. So this really goes to show just how much pressure is being put on Benjamin Netanyahu and really how much he relies on this far-right element of his coalition for political survival. But certainly a major disjoint here in Israel, a lot of questions surrounding this announcement, this decision. But we are hearing now from the United Nations coming out to welcome the move, saying that this aid really needs to get to these people in the Gaza Strip who so desperately need it. Munmun.
So divisions are so pronounced within the Israeli government. So how likely is a hostage and ceasefire deal looking between Israel and Hamas?
It's looking pretty unlikely at this stage. We do need to remember what we've been hearing from the Israeli government, from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu time and time again, that there will be no withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip until Hamas has been completely defeated, and there will also be no ceasefire. And this, of course, is something that Hamas is demanding. We also heard from the leader of its Politburo, Ismail Haniyeh. He gave a televised address a little earlier today. He said that the position of Hamas is in line with this proposal, saying that they are ready to accept, but only if there's a full withdrawal of Israeli forces and also a comprehensive ceasefire. Now, we also do need to remember what we heard from the US president just 2 days ago. He said he doesn't expect to see a deal in the near future, but he hasn't lost hope. But really, here on the ground, Netanyahu is being pressured from people who desperately want a deal to see these remaining 116 Israeli hostages brought home. There were tens of thousands of people demonstrating right here in Tel Aviv overnight, demanding a deal be done now, demanding that the Prime Minister step down and that elections be held immediately. Munmun.
We'll leave it at that. Sarah reporting from Tel Aviv. Time for a breather on the show. Still to come on DD India Live. UK opinion polls point to electoral extinction, quote unquote, for Prime Minister Sunak's Conservatives. Russian forces kill 6 Islamic State-linked hostage takers at a detention center. And first ever documentary film bazaar inaugurated at the Mumbai International Film Festival, or MIF. Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. In UK, 3 opinion polls released late on Saturday presented a grim picture for Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's Conservative Party, and one pollster warned that the party faced electoral extinction in the 4th of July election. The polls come just over halfway through the election campaign after a week in which both the Conservatives and the Labour set out their manifestos, and shortly before voters begin to receive postal ballots. Rishi Sunak surprised many in his own party by announcing an early election on 22nd May against widespread expectations that he would wait until later in the year to allow more time for living standards to recover after the highest inflation in 40 years. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has said that President Vladimir Putin is not ruling out talks with Ukraine, but guarantees will be needed to ensure the credibility of any negotiations. More than 90 countries took part in a 2-day event at the Bergenstock Resort in central Switzerland, aimed at uniting a global opinion on how to end Moscow's 27-month-old conflict. Russian special forces freed 2 prison guards and shot dead 6 inmates linked to the Islamic State militant group who had taken them hostage at a detention center in the southern city of Rostov on Sunday. According to Russian state media, one of the men had been convicted of terrorism offenses and were accused of affiliation with the Islamic State militant group, which claimed responsibility for a deadly attack on a Moscow concert hall in March. The hostage takers were from Russia's southern republic of Ingushetia, and 3 of them had been detained in 2022 for planning an attack on a court in another Russian republic, Karachi, Cherkessia. Back home, India's Home Minister Amit Shah chaired a high-level review meeting on the security scenario in Jammu and Kashmir in New Delhi today. The Home Minister directed agencies to replicate the successes achieved in Kashmir Valley through Area Domination Plan and Zero Terror Plan in the Jammu Division. The government is committed to setting up an example by cracking down on terrorists through innovative means. The Home Minister directed all agencies to work in a mission mode and ensure quick response in a coordinated manner. At the meeting, the Home Minister said the fight against terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir is in its decisive phase. Recent incidents show that terrorism has been forced to shrink from highly organized acts of terrorist violence to a mere proxy war, and India is determined to root it out as well. Amit Shah stressed on seamless coordination amongst the security agencies, identifying vulnerable areas and addressing the security concerns of such areas. Reiterating a zero-tolerance policy against terrorism under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Home Minister said that the government will leave no stone unturned in rooting out terrorism from Jammu and Kashmir. The Home Minister appreciated the security agencies and J&K administration for successful conduct of Lok Sabha polls, which witnessed record voters' participation in Jammu and Kashmir. Amit Shah noted that the improvement in the law and order situation is reflected in record flow of tourists in the Kashmir Valley. The meeting was attended by National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, Lieutenant Governor of J&K Manoj Sinha, Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Pandey, Union Home Secretary, Director Intelligence Bureau, senior army officers including Chief of Army Staff Designate, Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi, DG of Central Armed Paramilitary Forces, Chief Secretary and DGP of J&K, and other senior officers. That's it then in this edition of the news. Right, we'll continue the bulletin for now. On irregularities in NEET exam, India's Education Minister Dr. Dharmendra Pradhan assured students
जहाँ इस प्रकार की गड़बड़ियों की सूचना पुख्ता जानकारी के साथ अभी मिल रहा है, उस पर स्पेसिफिक कार्रवाई भी कोर्ट की संज्ञान में रखते हुए सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सारा विषय को एक नज़र रखी है। कोर्ट की निगरानी में सारा विषय को किया जा रहा है। नीट जैसे महत्वपूर्ण परीक्षा 100% पारदर्शी हो, ये हम उसके लिए कमिटेड है, सरकार उसके लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। उसमें जो भी गड़बड़ी में दोषी पाए जाएंगे, वो NTA भी हो तो भी उसको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा, उस पर कड़ी से कड़ी कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
Let's now take a look at other stories making news today. Indian Railway officials on Sunday conducted an extensive inspection of the newly constructed world's highest railway bridge, Chenab Rail Bridge, built between Sangaldan in Ramban district and Riyasi. The rail services on the line will begin soon. As water crisis worsens in the national capital, Delhi Minister Atishi urged the Delhi police to deploy police personnel to patrol and protect major pipelines. The minister sought increased security around the pipelines in the national capital for the next 15 days. And now all the updates on the 18th edition of the Mumbai International Film Festival. The first ever documentary film bazaar at Mumbai International Film Festival was inaugurated today by filmmaker Apurva Bakshi. After the inauguration, Bakshi said that at MIF there's a lot of help for filmmakers, including the funding aspect. MIF will host the film bazaar from 16th June to 18th June, and this dedicated space caters specifically to documentaries, animation and short films, fostering collaboration and growth within these vibrant mediums. This marks a significant step forward for MIF, solidifying its position as the premier platform for non-feature films in South Asia. Documentary Bazaar at the Mumbai International Film Festival is a great place for budding and experienced filmmakers to sign co-production agreements. DD India's Shama Mishra spoke exclusively to documentary filmmaker Katyayani Kumar, who shared her experience. Let's take a listen.
So as we are talking about the Doc Bazaar, which is being organized at Mumbai International Film Festival for the first time, there's a special place for co-production, and the movies that are still at the development stage, they can come here, the filmmakers can come here with their movies and talk all about distribution with the, with the eligible people. And Katyayani Kumar is with us. She has her film Sons of the River, which she has shot in Punjab about the Bhakra Dam. So coming here and showing your film, showcasing your film, which is still at the development stage, what have you picked up from here? And likewise, there were several similar filmmakers. How did you see their films, and how did you find their films rather? And have you had any business talks so far?
Yeah, so right now it's, we just went through all the pitches of all the documentary films, and there are amazing films over here at the market, amazing filmmakers. And I think that everybody's very enthusiastic. They all have great stories, and this market is definitely a place for budding creatives and emerging filmmakers to really get on their pitches and meet, financiers and producers. And yes, we've had talks so far with a couple, and after this interview, I'm going on to another one. So it's been pretty fruitful and been great, yeah.
All right. Lastly, how do you see MIF? Because this is one platform where, it's totally dedicated to the documentary filmmakers, the short filmmakers. So how do you see this platform?
This is my first time here, and I have to say that I am definitely excited. I think that what makes any event great is the people and the energy, and this place has both of them. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for talking to us. So that was Katyayani, and she was talking about her film and also how, this is a platform where she can connect, and filmmakers like her can connect to the potential distributors and people who are ready and are willing to promote the movies. So this is one particular perfect place to get it to business talks and to promote the documentaries. With camera person Gaurav Kagra, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Mumbai.
The Hemis festival, also known as Hemis Sechu, celebrates the birth of Guru Padmasambhav, kicked off in Ladakh on Sunday. The two-day festival has its roots in the 17th century when it was founded by son of King of Ladakh, Galras Rinpoche. That's it finally in this edition of DD India Live. We'll share your thoughts. You can in fact share your thoughts with us on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Prasar Bharati from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.